Hey, good evening. It's Tuesday, August 8th, and welcome to Everyday Talk 24/7. We're looking at a series of videos in Psalm 119 on suffering and affliction, and how the Word of God is so central to us. And tonight is the fifth of those sections, verses 97 through 104 of Psalm 119. And remember, these sections, these 8-verse sections, all start with the same letter. Each 8-verse section starts with the same letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And there's this order and structure here. The first verse tonight is one that's probably you've seen. You might even have it on a wall placard or something. It might be your favorite verse of the day. But let's look at it in the context of what it's intended for us to see. And again, this is familiar. Oh, how I love your law. I meditate on it all day long. Oh, how I love your law. I meditate on it all day long. And that's a great verse. Don't misunderstand me. It's a great thing to grasp onto. It's a great goal of your heart to love the law of God. But it's in the context of this section in Psalm 119. It's about suffering and about affliction, about people coming out after you. And it's in that context that the psalmist is saying, how I love your law, I meditate on it all day long. Rather than being consumed with the attacks that are being made, rather than being consumed with how can I get back at the people or situations that are being unfair to me or aggravating me, how can I strike justice? How can I make things right? What the psalmist is saying, I love your law so much, I meditate on it all day long. So these first two sections, the first two verses of the four groupings here are this. Oh, how I love your law and meditate on it all day long. Your commands make me wiser than my enemies, for they are ever with me. See what he's saying here? The enemies, the ones who are doing the afflicting, are ever with him. But he is wiser than they are. Why? Because he meditates on the law of God, because he loves it. It's become a part of who he is, part of who we should be. Something we want our children to be able to have this same idea. When they're afflicted, they need to know what the Word of God says so they can know best how to combat it. So again, let me read verses 97 and 98 again. Oh, how I love your law. I meditate on it all day long. Your commands make me wiser than my enemies, for they are ever with me. So the bad guys aren't going away. The afflictors are hanging around. But the psalmist's focus, is on the beautiful, wonderful Word of God. Then the next two, verses 99 and 100. I have more insight than all my teachers, for I meditate on your statutes. I have more understanding than the elders, for I obey your precepts. I have more insight than all my teachers. This is what allows him to withstand these attacks. Teachers are important, but they are not more important than the Word of God. So your teachers need to be teaching you the Word of God so that you own it for yourself, because the teacher may not be there when you're being afflicted. So the psalmist is comforted here. I have more insight than all my teachers. It's so important. The next two verses 101 and 102. I have kept my feet from every evil path. Why? So that I might obey your word. I have not departed from your laws. Why? For you have taught me. You yourself have taught me. You see that personal connection that's here. I've kept my feet from every evil path so that I can obey your word. And then very closely connected to the first line of verse 102. For I have not departed from your laws. It's another way of saying I've kept my feet from every evil path. For you yourself have taught me. See that intimate connection? This is not just an academic exercise. This is an exercise of the heart. That's what's protecting him from his afflictors. That's what's so powerful here. And then the last two, right along with this idea for you yourself have taught me. Verse 105, 103, and 104. How sweet are your promises to me, sweeter than honey to my mouth. And honey was the sweetest substance known at that time. So how sweet are your promises to my taste, sweeter than honey to my mouth. And then 104, the last one. I gain understanding from your precepts. Therefore, I hate every wrong path. Again, the last verse and the first verse are connected of the 8 verses. Oh, how I love your law. And then at the end, therefore, because I love your law, I hate every wrong path. How sweet are your promises to my taste, sweeter than honey to my mouth. I gain understanding from your precepts. Therefore, I hate every wrong path. So he doesn't go the way that the afflictors are going. He's not interested in revenge. He's going to let God take revenge. He believes that God's for real. Because, as we see here, he loves God. God has taught him. Oh, how I love your law. I meditate on it all day long. I gain understanding from your precepts. Therefore, I hate every wrong path. What a beautiful beginning and ending. And what a guide for us. When we're feeling affliction, when we're feeling overwhelmed, the Word of God is here to offer us hope, stability, peace, and the confidence that God will make things right. So we see some of the really difficult things that the psalmist has gone through in these first 5 sections, where he's all day long he's been persecuted. His enemies are overwhelming him. But what is his anchor? What is his bedrock? I love your law. I meditate it all day. I meditate on it all day long. How sweet are your promises to me? They're sweeter than honey to my mouth. That's what protects him. Not getting back at the enemy, but knowing that he's secure in God. What a powerful passage. So take this familiar opening. Oh, how I love your law. I meditate on it all day long. And put it in the context of this is what protects us when we're afflicted, when we have suffering. And that's the thought for this Tuesday. And I think we'll probably finish up tomorrow. But again, I love your thoughts, your feedback. It's great to get your comments. And thank you again so much for just being a part of what's going on here and your support. I just love hearing from you. So, Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great evening. Good night. Thank you for watching. May God richly bless you as you seek to live for His glory.